Welcome to NFM Market Perspectives.
NFM Market Perspectives, Monday Outlook, S&P 500 Pre-Market and Geopolitics, August 18th, 2025. Good morning. Another catalyst-heavy week is here, with housing data, PMIs, FOMC minutes, and Jackson Hole all lined up. Here's your fast setup. S&P 500 Pre-Market Pulse. From the prior session heat map, communication services is firm Google Meta green. Healthcare shows leadership led by Eli Lilly. Megacap tech is mixed. Apple and Microsoft slightly softer while Oracle outperforms. Semis lean red into the bell. Nvidia, Broadcom, AMD, ADI under pressure. Financials are two-way. JPM softer, Visa steadier. Energy is split. Chevron up, Exxon a touch lower. Net red, a cautious risk-on skew concentrated in platforms and select defensives, while chips lag. Tariffs plus the Putin meeting. Tariffs remain the market's wild card. Recent surveys show most investors expect an economic impact and are either 1, trimming risk and rotating to steadier exposures, 2, buying dips during tariff headlines, or 3, simply sticking to long-term plans like dollar-cost averaging. Institutions are adding hedges and resilience, citing risks of stickier inflation and slower growth. Practical takeaway. Keep sizing disciplined and expect headline-sensitive rotations, especially in autos, semis, and globally exposed consumer names. On geopolitics, the Trump-Putin-Alaska summit ended without a formal deal. Both sides cited progress, but core issues remain unresolved, and the focus has shifted from a quick ceasefire toward a broader peace framework. President Zelensky meets President Trump at the White House today, with possible trilateral engagement later. Markets will treat concrete de-escalation steps as energy price-friendly. Stalemate or new sanctions risk tilts toward higher oil in a volatility bump. For now, binary risks eased, but headline risk stays elevated. Economic calendar to watch Tuesday, U.S. building permits and housing starts July, Canada CPI, Atlanta Fed GDP now, API crude, Japan trade, China loan prime rates overnight. Wednesday UK CPI, Euro area final CPI, U.S. crude inventories, 20-year auction, FOMC minutes. Remarks from Waller Bostic, Jackson Hole begins. Thursday Eurozone and UK flash PMIs, U.S. jobless claims, Philly Fed, SP Global PMIs, existing home sales, leading index, Mexico policy minutes, Fed balance sheet, Japan national CPI later. Friday, UK retail sales, Mexico Q2 GDP, Canada retail sales, Chair Powell speaks, CFTC positioning, rig counts. Jackson Hole continues. Key earnings this week Monday, Palo Alto Networks, BHP Group, Grupo Mexico, Fabrinet, Telcom Indonesia. Tuesday, Home Depot, Medtronic, Keysight, Toll Brothers, Xiaomi. WED, TJX, Lowe's, Analog Devices, Target, Baidu, Williams, Sonoma. Thursday, Walmart, Intuit, Workday, Ross Stores, Zoom. Fry, BJ's Wholesale, Ubiquity, Goldfields, Meituan ADR, IPOs on the radar, and what IPO means. What's an IPO? An initial public offering is when a private company sells shares to the public for the first time, listing on an exchange. It sets an initial share price and raises capital, while giving investors a new way to participate in the company's growth. This week, Elite Express Holding Inc., ETS, NASDAQ, launch price, $4, size 16.0 million shares. Industry note, your input didn't specify the industry. Based on the name, it likely operates in express logistics/courier services. Please confirm if different. Picard Medical Inc., PMI, NYSE. Price range, $3.50 to $4.50. Size, 19.1 million shares. Industry, medical technology/healthcare. VIX watch, the VIX has eased to just under 16 after a steady drift lower from spring highs. With housing data, minutes, and Powell ahead, a push toward 19 to 20 would signal risk-off and pressure cyclicals. A slide toward around 15 would support a grind higher in megacaps. Respect the ladder of higher lows since April and size accordingly. Bonus section, 1 ETF and 2 earnings setups. ETF pick, CIBR, cybersecurity. Cyber remains a secular budget priority, and Palo Alto's report can act as a read-through across the group. Tactic, buy pullbacks into prior support with a tight stop below last week's swing low. Take partials into strength near recent range highs. Palo Alto Networks, PANW. Trend constructive on Ichimoku. Price riding above the cloud with a rising baseline. MACD turning up after a brief cool-off. Into the print, a sustained move through the recent intraday high near 177.5 opens room toward prior resistance. First support sits around the cloud top in the mid-1760s, then baseline lower. Bias, constructive with expected volatility. Walmart, WMT. Trend steady but choppy pre-earnings. Price pulled back toward 100. MACD below zero and flattening. Argues for patience. Levels 100.4 to 100.5 near resistance. 99.6 to 99.8 first support. Reaction will hinge on traffic, mix, and price investment commentary. Staples defensiveness is a backstop if macro headlines sour. Investor takeaways. Data density rises Tuesday through Friday. Minutes in Powell are volatility gates. Tariff headlines still steer rotations, favor quality balance sheets and right-size risk. VIX under 16 supports a grind-up, but spikes are possible around Fed geopolitics. Thematic stance. Own cyber via cyber. Trade Palo Alto and Walmart around earnings with predefined levels. See you Friday for the full recap and scorecard on these picks.
Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, hit subscribe and share this with others. See you next time on Anna from Market Perspectives.